Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, V Feels. My name is V Hernandez, and today we're going to be doing song number 7. As you know, the main objective of my channel is to translate, explain, and decipher popular Spanish songs that otherwise you would try to put on Google Translate and get a complete different translation than what the artist actually meant. With that said, please like, share, and subscribe. We're going to be starting with song number 7, which is Noche de Anoche. This is unique because this is the first song that I'm going to be doing with Bad Bunny featuring somebody else, in this case, Rosalía. So Rosalía is the one who starts off the song, and she says, Yo sé que eso no volverá a pasar, pero si volviera a pasar, sé que sería tu debilidad, porque la noche de anoche fue algo que no puedo explicar. Eso era dando y dándole sin parar. Tú me decías que morías por mí. So basically what she's saying is, I don't know how this happened, but last night happened, and if it happens again, I know it will be your weakness. I cannot explain it, it just happened, but we were going at it without stopping. You told me that you would die for me. And then Bad Bunny says almost the same thing, except for the last line is a little bit different. He says, porque la noche de anoche fue algo que yo no puedo explicar. Eso era dando y dándole sin parar. Tú encima de mí y yo encima de ti. He is basically saying, like, we were going at it without stopping. She was on top of me and I was on top of you, right? And then he goes on to, it's clear that they're talking about their sexual interaction. Apparently, it seems like they're making it seem like they used to date, they broke up, and now they had that one-off like escapade, right? And they can't explain how it happened, but it happened. And then Bad Bunny opens up and says, Tú me dejaste el cuerpo caliente, infierno, pero me dejaste el corazón frío, invierno. Soñando que contigo es que duermo. He's comparing and contrasting here. He's just saying, like, you left me all hot and bothered. Like, it's so hot, infierno. It's like hell, feels like hell. And you left my heart broken. It's so cold now. It's like winter. It's just devastated. And he's like, when I dream of you, it's the only time that I could sleep. Here, I think he's like, it's pretty cool. He's saying, like, she's so flip-floppy. Like, when they're having sex, everything's so passionate. But at the end of the day, like, they're not together. And he's like heartbroken that they're not, because if he feels that chemistry with her. And then she goes on to say, Dime papi. He says, Dime mami. Here is a very simple, tell me daddy, tell me mommy. But I feel like there's more to it, because they're telling each other, like, open up. Tell me how you really feel. Like, tell me about last night's interaction and what you thought of it. Which is really ironic, because like 10 seconds ago, they were saying that they couldn't explain what happened, but it happened, right? So I think it's funny. Now he goes on to say, Bad Bunny says, Esa noche quien la borra, tú me besaste y se me cayó la gorra, sin mucha labia, sin mucha cotorra, cuando estoy contigo, dejo que la vibra corra. Great way to open up. He's basically saying, you know, who's gonna forget about last night? It's unforgettable. We were kissing and my hat just fell off. Like, I didn't care what would happen to my hat. Like, I was just so carried away. I didn't have to like be like a smooth operator and like whisper sweet nothing into your ear. Like, I could just be myself and not throw game and just vibe with you. Like, he's basically saying, like, when I'm with you, I'm always vibing, right? And then he goes on to say, y que la luna nos supervise, con esa boquita suena rico todo lo que tú me dices. Hicimos poses que yo nunca hice, tú te mojaste para que yo me bautice. A lot of great stuff here. So he's just saying, let the moon supervise us. You know, whatever you say or whatever comes out of your mouth, it sounds so good. It's just, I'll believe whatever you say. And then he goes on to say, like, we did poses that I've never even done in my life. You got so wet that I was baptized. Here is like, let me break it down even more, because he is referring to how wet she got, that when he was inside of her, he was soaking wet. But he's saying, like, it was like I was baptized, like I was submerged in deep waters. That's how wet she got. So he's trying to explain how magical or passionate their interaction was. Very deep, if you ask me, right? And then he goes on to say, y me pongo serio, serio, tú y yo juntos creando un imperio, esos ojitos tienen un misterio, pero al final nada de lo nuestro fue en serio or serio. Here I'm like, fire, this is fire. He's basically saying like, you know, I got really serious about you. Like in my head, I started thinking that we could build an empire, that we could have a future. Such a Pisces, right? He's like daydreaming, thinking ahead, thinking of all the possibilities, the potential. And he's saying, but your eyes were so mysterious. Like I couldn't read you, I couldn't gauge you. I didn't know if you thought the same or not. But at the end of the day, it wasn't as serious as it was for me compared to you. Like it wasn't as serious for you. He's just saying like, it didn't work out, right? And then he goes on to say, which to me is very relatable. Sometimes I feel like one party is more serious than the other, and one doesn't see it like that, but the other one is already like thinking ahead or building a future and having all this stuff, right? And then he goes on to say, y ya me ha pasado que me han ilusionado, y ya me ha pasado que me han abandonado, y ya me ha pasado que no estás a mi lado, y ya me ha pasado. Here she's basically explaining like, this has happened to me before, where I gotten so excited about a relationship, about dating somebody, but then I end up single. Like they're not by my side, they're not next to me. Like I'm like left alone. Again, very relatable, right? And then he goes on to say, this part is repeated again, where he says, porque la noche de anoche fue algo que yo no puedo explicar. Again, you know, that's like the hook there, or the yeah. And then it's Rosalia's turn. Rosalia is answering to what he had to say, and she's saying, que yo me iría otra vez para Japón, papi, qué pena tú, qué maldición. La paleta es dulce, azúcar de algodón, y es la única que me llega al corazón. I love her verse or her lines here, because she's saying like, I will go all the way to Japan again just to do it again. And she's like, damn, that lollipop is sweet like cotton candy, and is the only one that gets to my heart. So she's basically saying like, the act was so good, or the D was so good, that she's over here catching feelings, right? Like she would want to do it again. And then she goes on to say, ya no me olvido, la suerte está echada, se me enredaba el pelo en la pantalla. Here is basically saying like, I cannot forget about us hooking up or about our interactions, but it is what it is. Like this is how things played out. And then here when she says my hair gets tangled in the screen, I don't know what she really meant, but I'm just gonna go off on the whim here and say that she probably was waiting for him to call her or text her, and she fell asleep with her phone, you know, while in bed. And us girls, or I don't know if it happens to you guys, but sometimes if I fall asleep, my phone ends up somewhere over here, so it's tangled in between my hair. So that's what I'm thinking that she's probably meaning. I don't know, this is me going off on the limb. If you think otherwise, feel free to comment below and let me know what you thought, because this is just, again, this is what I feel it says, what V feels, right? And then let's go on to the next part where it says, sabes que solo lo hago de leyenda, lo subo al cielo, yo soy su Messiah, el Benito es un diablillo, ella es un ángel. Here she's saying that you know that her sex game is so bomb that it's legendary, that it's unforgettable. It's on a whole different level, that he feels like he's in the sky, like that she is the Messiah, like she is the prophet, enlighten him, right? Like that's how she's saying that, that's how her sex game is. And then she goes to say that Benito is like a little devil, like a little daredevil, and that she's just an angel. But I feel like she's playing here with like, you know, saying on a spiritual level, they're out of this world, that there's like other creatures, like an angel and a devil, like the good and the bad, basically. And then she goes on to say, lo tengo juqueado como si fuera tote, baby, entre nosotros nunca competimos, si preguntan, dice, ella todos los récords bate. A lot of stuff going on. So, juqueado means like hooked. So she's saying, I know that I have him hooked. Tote, it could mean a couple different things, but the way I'm going to interpret it is like a tote bag, like a purse. So I'm thinking that she's saying I have them hooked, like when you would hook a purse when you go to a restaurant or something like that. That's what I think. I could be way off, but I'm just thinking something along those lines, right? And then she's saying that there's no competition amongst them, that if they ask, that he would say that she's a baddie, that she breaks records. This could be interpreted of one of two ways. One, it could be like their sex game, like them together, like their fire, that is, you know, there's no need to compete because they're both really good. Or them as artists and being singers, like they're both really good, that they're breaking records, and he would attest that she's breaking records. And then it continues to say, Rosalia and Bad Bunny will repeat, Rosalia will say, y ya me he pasado que me han ilusionado. She'll repeat her part of her verse, and that's pretty much the end of the song. But I really hope that you like how I explain and decipher this song. There was a couple things that I was kind of like caught off guard, that I didn't really understand, like the screen and the hair tangling and the tote, or the tote. But I think I did a pretty good job. Otherwise, other than that, let me know if you think otherwise. If you thought that the translation or the me breaking it down was completely different, or if you would have interpreted different. Again, more than happy to hear your opinions. Like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.